Today we're taking a look at these college basketball matches, which are happening on Monday, March 6, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and make sure to watch it till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Also check out our Patreon if you want access our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link in description and comments section below. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comments section below. UNCW vs Hofstra. UNC Wilmington's success this season was built on defense, and on Sunday they didn't have it against a team that doesn't have a tremendous offense. Well, Hofstra does, and if they play like that again, Hofstra will light up the scoreboard and run away with the game. The way I see it, Hofstra's defense can match UNC Wilmington's, while the Seahawks' offense isn't on the same level as the Pride's. For the second time during their impressive run, I think Hofstra will win and cover against UNC Wilmington. Our team pick is Hofstra covers. While the Pride has been impressive on both ends of the floor, it's really been the offense that stood out. They've scored at least 73 points in 8 of the 12 games that they've won in a row. As for the metrics, they bring in the 84th most efficient offense in the country, a unit that's scoring 111.0 points per game. As for field goal percentage, they're cashing 48.0% of their field goals, which is the 25th best in the country. I expect them to put up at least 75 to 80 points in this one. As for each team's pace, neither team plays incredibly fast, but Hofstra comes in ranked 182nd in tempo, 67.5 possessions per 40 minutes, while UNC Wilmington is 273rd, 66.0. But, if the Pride can establish their style of play and set the pace, I think we'll see this one sail over the total. Northern Kentucky vs Youngstown State. There is a difference in terms of the abilities of the offenses lately, as the Norse are scoring 72.3 points in their last 4 games, while the Penguins are averaging 82 points in their previous 5 games. When diving into KenPom's adjusted efficiency margin, there is a bit of a difference between these programs, as Youngstown State is 123rd in the nation, with a plus 4.38 rating, while Northern Kentucky is ranked 174th in college basketball, with a minus 0.45 rating thus far. Go with the Youngstown State Penguins to cover the spread and advance to the finals of the Horizon League tournament. Our team pick is Youngstown State Penguins minus 3.5 points. If you dive into the defensive output in their previous 5 games, both teams are doing well as Northern Kentucky is giving up 64.2 points per game, while Youngstown State is allowing 70.2 points per game in that span. These programs are going to play at a more methodical pace, as the Norse's slow pace is going to slow down the fast-paced Penguins' offense, as the Penguins are 87th in the nation with 71.9 possessions per game, while the Norse are 341st in the sport with just 65.9 possessions per game. The under has hit in 11 of the last 15 Norse games, following a straight-up win, as well as hitting in 7 of the previous 8 Penguins games, following a ATS loss, so go with the under here. Our total pick is under 138.5 points. BYU vs St. Mary's. The Gales will win straight up and cover as spread favorites, forcing BYU into enough turnovers to separate on the scoreboard. St. Mary's slow-tempo approach, 359th in pace of play, will put pressure on the Cougars to maximize their offensive opportunities, which will be problematic for a team that averages over 14 turnovers per game, one of the highest turnover ratios in the NCAA. The Cougars will not be able to rely on offensive rebounds either, as St. Mary's boasts a plus 7.1 rebounding margin. Our team pick is St. Mary's minus 6.5 points. St. Mary's finished the regular season as co-West Coast champions. The Gales split their 2 meetings with Gonzaga, winning 78-70 at home on February 4 and losing 77-68 in the season finale. Will they get over the hump and beat the Zags again if they meet in the WCC tournament final? BYU won by 10 points in the WCC tourney quarterfinals, taking down the number 4 seed Loyola Marymount. The Cougars led 38-27 at halftime and held off the Gales in the second half. Brigham Young shot 52.4% from the floor and converted 21 of 26 free throw attempts, 80.8%. The Lions were held to 7 for 27 shooting, 25.9% from long distance, well below their season average. Husseini Traore leads the Cougars in scoring. The sophomore forward averaged 13.2 points and 8.0 rebounds in the regular season, with a 60.4 FG%. Other players to watch when BYU takes the floor are senior guard Rudy Williams, 12.7 ppg, junior guard Spencer Johnson, 11.1 ppg and 3.7 rpg, and senior forward Gideon George, 10.7 ppg and 6.0 rpg. Our total pick is over 131.5 points. Cleveland State vs Wisconsin-Milwaukee. The ability to defend shows a massive difference in these programs lately, as the Vikings are allowing 69.8 points in their last 4 games, while the Panthers are giving up 82.6 points in their previous 5 games. When diving into KenPom's adjusted efficiency margin this season, there is a bit of a difference, as Milwaukee is 225th in the sport with a -4.20 rating right now, while Cleveland State is 188th in the nation with a -1.22 rating thus far. All in all, go with the Cleveland State Vikings to cover the spread here, as it seems to be the best option here. Our team pick is Cleveland State Vikings -3.5 points. The Milwaukee Panthers won in the quarterfinals against the Wright State Raiders 87-70. They shot incredibly offensively, as they shot 50.7% from the floor and 36.4% from beyond the arc. Sophomore guard BJ Freeman led the program here, as he finished the game with 29 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists in 27 minutes on the court. They dominated the rebounding battle in the game, as they out-rebounded the Raiders 48-31 and gave up 27 points in the first half of the game. They gave up 11 total assists on 26 made field goals. The Panthers have to continue doing well defensively, as the Raiders were able to go 8 of 26, 30.8% from 3, and were able to force 12 turnovers throughout the game. The Milwaukee Panthers are scoring at an incredible level this season, with 78.3 points per game, which ranks 38th in basketball thus far. They are a struggling program defensively, with 73.2 points per game allowed, which is 276th in the nation. Both programs have been scoring extremely well as of late, with Cleveland State scoring 71.8 points in their last 4 games, while Milwaukee is averaging 88 points in their previous 3 games. These teams are also playing at an extremely fast pace in their last 3 games heading into this game, as the Vikings are averaging 75 possessions per game, while the Panthers are averaging 78.3 possessions per game in that stretch. Go with the over, as it seems to be the most likely option to happen in this game. Our total pick is over 148.5 points. San Francisco vs Gonzaga. The Dons are 4-0 ATS in their last 4 neutral site games, and the Bulldogs are 1-6 ATS in their last 7, after scoring 100 points or more in their previous game. I'm picking San Francisco to cover the spread in this West Coast Conference Tournament semifinal game. The Dons have been playing exceptionally well in this year's conference tournament, beating Pacific by 17 and outlasting a Santa Clara team coming off a bye in overtime. The third time was the charm for the Dons, who won the rebounding battle and shot lights out from 3-point range. The Zags have not played a meaningful game since their emotional victory over St. Mary's on February 25. In this game, I expect the Dons to bring the energy, giving the Bulldogs a run for their money. If US can rebound the ball as effectively as it did versus the Broncos, watch out. The Dons did dominate the Bulldogs in the rebounding department in the first meeting on January 5, plus 19 rebounding margin with 13 offensive rebounds. With a performance like that on Monday, they'll easily cover against a Zag squad that's just 12-17 won at TS this season. Our team pick is San Francisco plus 12.5 points. Senior forward Drew Timm leads Gonzaga in scoring. He averaged 21.1 points, 61.8 FG%, 7.4 rebounds, and 3.2 assists per game this season. Other players to watch are junior guard Julian Strother, 15.3 ppg, 6.2 rpg, 42.63 pt%, senior forward Anton Watson, 11.1 ppg, 5.6 rpg, 62.1 fg%, and senior guard Rasser Bolton, 10.9 ppg. Gonzaga scores 88.0 points per game, first, and shoots 52.9% first, including 38.2% from three-point range, 17th. It converts 69.8% of its free throw attempts, 251st, and averages 33.6 rebounds, 73rd, with a plus 5.4 rebounding margin. The Bulldogs are first in schedule-adjusted offensive efficiency and second in effective field goal percentage, 58.3%. Gonzaga gives up 73.6 points per game on defense, 287th, and its opponents shoot 44.9%, 262nd, with a 34.7 shooting percentage from behind the arc, 246th. The Zags are 88th in adjusted defensive efficiency, 12th in assist per turnover ratio, and 40th in adjusted tempo. Our total pick is under 160 points.